All right then, I greet you. Welcome to another program in the series Homo Politicus, which, like a friendly octopus, claws at any and everything that appears to raise the national adrenaline. Today, a presumed tainted national protest. APC state chairman smell plot to unseat Tinubu's government. You know, man by nature is a suspicious being, and in dealing with him, you are careful because trust, which is the foundation of all relationships, is missing. There's very little denying that the suffering in the land, in our land, the worst of its kind in recent years, was coming to a head when the idea of a countrywide protest was mooted. Almighty suspicion set in. And so politicians and the army warned people against taking to the streets, but organizers of the protests say government failings have left them with no choice, little choice, in fact. Chairman of the APC in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory smell a grand plot to unseat Tinubu's government. As the Yorubas say, the answer to a headache is not chopping off the head. Let's have a conversation. My conversationalist this moment is the one, the only, ebullient Cyril Abaku. Cyril is a broadcaster and a communications expert. Cyril, welcome.
Thank you, Citizen Jones.
Yeah, so as we speak, the protest is hours away.
Yes.
But government and people connected to it are saying, no, don't. Wait a minute.
So first of all is that there's a difference between protests and violent, shall we say revolutionary, chaotic, if you like, anarchical action. We've seen non-violent protests in the past. We saw 2012, we saw Jota. We also saw largely the NSAS protests until soldiers moved into Lekki. So to judge,
Lekki was not the only flashpoint, Cyril. Go
yes, on. But at least that has become a reference point for us in the discourse. If we looked at Lekki, for example, soldiers came in Ikeja, some buses began to bring in thugs, and those protests became largely, compromised or turned violent. But for me, the key issue is that a protest is only so far as a protest, as far as it remains non-violent. Now, why is the protest even coming up at a time like this? The conversation, both from government and from its sympathizers, in my opinion, has sort of missed the mark. Why do I say this? We are not pouring in as much energy to addressing the challenges, the problems that are making the protests to happen. For example, by this time yesterday, we heard that the price of petrol had shot up to as much as 1,300 per litre.
Have you confirmed this?
In fact, somebody bought 5 liters for 6,000 yesterday. Somebody I asked to go and buy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So now the problem,
that answers the question.
It does. It's been reported and it's been
uniform, because I still bought mine 500 plus.
Okay.
The NNPC station. That's why I'm asking.
From NNPC. But not all of us have the luxury of going to an NNPC outlet. By the time yesterday, I was speaking with a colleague journalist yesterday, who said he had spent 34,000 naira fuel in his tank as at yesterday, and that in a month he spends in the neighborhood of 400,000 naira every month to fill up on petrol, on fueling his car. I'm wondering, how is it that with protest only hours away, the price of petrol, for good or for bad, the price is still going up? Why are we not spending as much energy into addressing the issues being raised by the protesters? Why are we so keen on looking for the protesters.
But this is not to say that government is the one hiking up the price of the PMS.
Well, they run the economy. Who else will be hiking up the price if not government and its agents, directly or vicariously? It is the government, citizen Jones. We can go into.
Well, that's what you want to believe. So go on.
Well, I could open up the value. What's the word? Is value chain ecosystem for you? The government is the sole importer of petrol into Nigeria. That is one. The NNPC is the one that gives to the marketers. So with that, the marketers cannot even control price. It is what the NNPC, it is the way they receive that they also interpret and sell. The NNPC will come and tell you tomorrow that refineries in Europe are bad. They come and tell you landing cost has increased. I mean, all kinds of things are.
Okay.
I usually ban it, and petrol is only one out of many factors that are being given.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get there.
Yes.
In the course of the chat. But do you know, as you sit here, so many voices from around the country are not supportive of the protest?
Now, this is the dilemma we find ourselves in. You know, when Babangida was president, he faced a similar challenge. In his own case, it was as if he was giving money to groups who were shouting everywhere his name. But when the cookie crumbled, he didn't see anybody behind him. We find that traditional rulers, religious leaders, all kinds of groups are ostensibly saying that the protest should not hold. But believe me, even while that was going on yesterday in Niger State, the protest already broke. It's as if Nigerians can't wait for this thing to start. There's such a strong appetite for street action. This is why, for me, it's never holding meetings.
The appetite for street action.
Exactly. Because, I mean, clearly, their appetite for coming out to the street to protest seems like it has reached fever pitches. But what is government doing to stop the protest? It is not the people you should talk to. Address the issues that they've raised.
All right.
About 15 issues.
Let's reconcile the current mood in the country with the not too distant past, where the Nigeria Labour Congress called for strikes a number of times, and Nigerians appeared to be apathetic towards it.
Yes.
And makes me think Nigerians are becoming a strike-weary country.
I agree with you, because the NLC, in my opinion, seems now to have it seems not to have sufficiently lost their power
and steam
as the vanguard of the people's interest. How many times have they called for strikes since President Tinubu came to office, and what have they been striking for? What would have expected that they should have been the ones?
No, they've called for strikes a number of times.
Almost 8 or 10 times.
Yeah.
Strikes that they'll say the strike will start.
They call in the morning.
Before evening, they have called. They've cancelled it. Is that a strike?
Okay.
So the people naturally, when people don't know when you're on strike, when you're not on strike, they can't support you anymore. So this what really bothers is that we don't even know the people who are engineering this urban governance protest.
I hear they call themselves the Gen Z.
Well, the Gen Z
generation.
Yes, but Gen Z is a blanket term, like you have the baby boomers, or any other psychological sociological grouping by generation, which we have had for many years now. The boomers and so on. But right now, what we have today, the Gen Zs. First of all, Gen Z is a global thing, right? But we saw what the Gen Zs of Kenya did some weeks ago, and we are concerned that.
How do you sum up what they did?
Well,
did they achieve what they wanted?
The president sacked his cabinet. Okay.
But they are asking for the president to quit.
Well, let me also say that in a democracy, it is the power does not lie with government. Power lies with the people. Okay. So if the people make a demand, it is for government to listen and to heed.
All right, let's come back home and talk about some demands. I'm sure you are privy to them. They want the government to become unpopular as part of a larger agenda connected to the campaign ahead of 2027.
No, that can't.
No, it's there. It's there.
No.
I got it. I got it.
That's a very debatable pointer to take. Government to become on. First of all, popular government is not about populism. In democracy and political science, popular government simply talks about elements in government that entrench people's power. For example, referendum.
Making the people
have a voice and have a say in policy making. Referendum, for example, that's popular government. But there's populism that's different from popular government. So they cannot be saying that government should become unpopular. What does that mean? I haven't seen that anywhere, frankly speaking.
Well, if you so demand, I'll show you. And then they want the pump price of the premium motor spirit petrol to return to 100 naira.
It is very possible. Can government, in all sincerity, first of all, admit that subsidy is now being paid again? If they will admit, then let us have an audit of who has taken what. There will be enough money to return petrol to 100 naira per litre. Because this money, the president himself said that the money for subsidy was being stolen by cabal, by a few. We agree with you. Then he says subsidy is gone. Now you come back to pay subsidy again. So who are you paying it to? And why can't you admit it?
Have you heard that states receive more money from the federation account?
We know. But let us talk.
You know that.
Of course, we are aware. But let's talk about the subsidy issue first of all. As an item, we will come.
If states, 36 of them and the FCT, are receiving more money, it means attraction towards the center will be.
It will not be. It will not be. You know why? State governors don't pay subsidies. Only federal government pays. And in this particular instance,
making life and living a lot less demanding.
Oh, now yes. So we will come to the governors, but for now, the item is take petrol back to 1 naira per litre.
All right, they want a return of subsidy.
Yes, and why can't it come back? You see what I'm saying? We have saved money from subsidy. Where is the money? Nobody has said anything. The money is going now. We are going back to paying subsidies. That's fine. But if I pay subsidies back, who are we paying it to? Can we have an audit? I can tell you that because the president himself said that the money for subsidy was being paid to thieves. So bring the money back and let us. Why if we are paying genuine subsidies, why can't we pay it back to? Why can't fuel price come to 100 naira per litre?
All right,
it can come back.
Let's broach this one. Would the protest, in your estimation, end hunger in the land?
It may not. It's uncertain. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Protests, essentially, what they achieve is that they put government on the edge. So even if things don't go back to the way they were, they will remain the same. Believe me that in the end, citizen, just let's be honest.
The child cries for attention,
and he will get. So between now and August 1, I can tell you concessions will be made. And between they wait. Is that not what they did with NLC? They didn't do anything. When they saw that the strike was strong, that fuel was not moving, they quickly say, come, let's talk. Government shouldn't run this way. What they're doing, they are watching. If the protest didn't bite, they will continue. But if it did, then they will now look for ways to.
I know you will jump at this right away, but let me drop it here. Federal government, as I said the other time, has no farm, but each of the 36 states has a Ministry of Agriculture, and land is vested in governments in this country. Now, which is saying the problem of hunger can be solved at the state level. Your state is popular with a particular thing, mine too, and other states.
If you want to give the power of agriculture to the governors, also give them the power.
Who are these?
The governors now.
Who to give them?
Federal government. What is the
does the Federal Ministry of Agriculture run your state's?
I will explain to you.
Minister of
If you allow me, I'll explain to you, sir.
Go on, I'm willing to learn.
The president. What is the president doing Minister of Agriculture when he don't have any farms, and wants to go on to create the Minister of Livestock when he does not own livestock? This is evil. The governors will have farms, but there are bandits on the farms that they cannot chase away. can you also see police power to chase the bandits and terrorists away from the farm so that they can go to farm?
Have you heard this loose statement? Governors are very powerful.
Yeah, but to what extent?
No, but do you agree?
I don't agree, because you must define it.
That, like what is playing out in your River State, tells me government can have its way.
No, but what has the governor done? The governor has been hand-tied, tongue-tied by his bosses in Abuja. In Plateau State, let me answer this question. In Plateau State, I totally like what Governor Caleb Mutfwang is doing. He partnered with a private sector agricultural consultant. They are about to till about 3,000 acres of rice farms. Laudable project, right? And each governor,
which is telling you it can be done.
The security of that farm. Do you know what he has done with maybe police or vigilantes? The former governor of Osun had to run to Abuja to meet then. Burate was the chief of army staff, to beg him and say, please come. The illegal miners were driven away from Zamfara have come to Ilesha. The governor was able to sit in his office and call the police commissioner and say, police commissioner, let's move into action. Flush out all those illegal miners. But he can't do it. So when you give people responsibility without the power to discharge the responsibility, what are they going to do? They are observing that the president is not doing his best. Which example do they have to learn from? When Mr. President will appoint hundreds of aides, why will governors also do the same thing? Another
good, which is saying not just the president, the governors too.
No, but of course they are learning from his example.
Over 200 aides, and so he didn't get he didn't get chastised by the center.
He did not. So today, the president has,
which is saying governors have powers. You may not
to learn from the presidency.
You may not be ready to.
You see now the APC chairman from 36 and the FCC. Look at what they are alleging. That this is an attempt to take power from the president. Who even thinks of that? Is this an armed insurrection?
Well, you had said you were not privy to the information they want to make the government unpopular.
No, but
as part of a larger agenda connected to the 2020.
So that is what the APC chairman said, not the protesters. Okay, so now I get you. Fine, but I mean that's a wild allegation. That's a very wild allegation. If left to me, what now? These people are also planning to hold counter protest to showcase, to tell the world the good things the presidency has done. But I can tell you for free that hunger does not respect class, creed, religion, or ethnicity. What is driving this protest is purely organic as far as I see it. The government should do well to quickly make sure that the people who are...
Because it can.
Because it can. It can.
I agree with
you. Come on, it can. So will it? That's the question. It can, but will it? That's the question.
But let's bring the whole thing into context. What country in Asia, the Asian continent, had a strike the other day? Bangladesh?
Perhaps.
There was...
South Korea.
And it claimed lives. Yeah.
The protest, you mean, Bangladesh?
The protest.
Student protest.
So you don't expect a protest here, especially in the light of what's happening in the land, to be calm.
Let me quickly
and begs the question: does the government not feel safe to want to fight it?
These APC people, when we're ACN, they spat in Jonathan's face. In Jota, Jonathan didn't send soldiers or police to go and harass anybody. So when President Tinubu says that he led protests by non-violence, it was because the government of the day didn't bring violence to the protests. You can attest to the logic. Under Buhari, the protests were largely peaceful until Governor Sanwo-Olu called soldiers to go to Lekki to go and shoot and cause massacre, because the very state government report that Governor Sanwo-Olu commissioned said it was a massacre.
Cyril, but you are a journalist.
The army went there and said
yes. I'm underlining the word massacre. You and I know what a massacre is.
No, but the commission that the governor...
You and I know what a massacre is.
The panel that the governor put together called it a massacre.
To disagree, there was no there was no massacre there.
It's okay, but the commission that the governor himself.
Massacre means there would have been bodies picked up, and bodies were not picked.
Okay.
So I don't want to to be railroaded into such an argument.
It's fine, but let's bring it home. If President Tinubu himself was part of protests were not violent, it was because the government of the day didn't bring violence on the protests. Nobody goes to protest to say we are going to loot and burn and stuff like that. It's protest is protest. At most, they barricade a few roads and insist that the demands are met. We said in Washington, occupy this, occupy that. In Lagos, it was occupy Lagos, occupy Nigeria. What we are asking is this: there is a freedom to hold protests. One, number two, more importantly, can the needs of not
do you hold that protest outside of giving outside of the law? It must be within the law, and the ambit of the law.
And thankfully, Nigerian law allows for protest.
Yeah, it does. And the Inspector General, I expect you to say, has ordered his men and officers to guard and guide protesters.
That was yesterday. But before then, what he said was that they had received intel that foreign mercenaries were about to come in to hijack the protest. Now, what I'm going to say is this: if they wait until the so-called foreign mechs came to join the protest, it is a failure of police. They should go to the airports and land borders and chase them back and chase the foreign mercenaries back and not allow them come into Nigeria. Because if you knew and did not until it happened.
What I desire to take from most of the things you have volunteered here is that the protest may not end hunger in the land, but can set the government thinking.
Yes, and then again, it's an uncertainty because you never know how to learn until it has ended. But that's why government can even prevent the protests. I sincerely find this very abhorrent. Why do you not moving very fast? Defense headquarters came out, they threatened. DSS came out, they threatened. Police came, they threatened.
No.
The presidency
didn't threaten. They did not threaten in the strict sense of the word.
Yeah, but
they gave reasons why you think they are threatening. They gave reasons.
And anything they say to scare away,
that they had intel. See, you could have been the Inspector General or a Commissioner of Police somewhere, and you act on intel. Obviously, you are not giving intelligence to make you feel cozy. Nobody does.
Yes.
So the coming days will be very interesting indeed.
They will be. What I will say is that, including when I had some protesters, that part of the demands was that the president should adopt what's it called, diaspora voting and independent candidates. And somebody said, but that's not for the president to do. It was the National Assembly.
Yeah, if the Constitution is
I don't agree. I don't agree.
No, but your Constitution does not provide for that.
I don't.
But it can go there. It can go there.
I disagree. Let me explain. I disagree. This Mr. President today has a National Assembly that is very friendly with him. Okay. They changed,
but not necessarily a rubber stamp assembly.
I don't know, but I know that they are very much in bed with him. The National Assembly the national anthem was changed within hours. Police Act to elongate Egbetokun was changed within hours. Now, what can he do?
What can he not do?
Transmit an executive bill to the national. Take leadership of the process of the change. Yes, now send a bill to the National Assembly and see whether they will not expedite action on it. Coming from the president, he can capitalize on his friendship with Akpabio. Or is diaspora voting not good? And is the independent candidate not also good?
Well, if the United States of America, who we think we are aping, has provision for that, then it will be out of sight.
So the president should quickly send the bill to the National Assembly.
Okay.
It will carry more weight than if you and I went to.
But comparatively speaking, Tinubu appears to me to be a more listening number one citizen than the previous one.
than Buhari,
Yes.
who was never aware of anything that was going on in the country.
Also, they said.
The evidence is there, but let's move to something else. This president, if he's listening as we want to believe he is, he needs to do a lot more.
I remember with the university thing. Oga, don't do that. And he changed.
Which university one?
Boards of universities, don't you remember?
The 111 people that he appointed.
And then Students' Loans Board came back. It came from heavy thinking.
Yes.
If you ask.
So we hope that the president will take good advice and not just this sycophantic chance of saying that they are about to unseat the president and so on. What is the business of that? How can you be talking about want to see the president? So they will break the military.
Let me drop this bomb. Let me drop this bomb. I hope it does not explode in your face. That losers of the last presidential election have refused to move on. Which is irking them to the point of wanting to shake the table.
Well,
have you heard it?
Well, you have lobbed the grenade, but it exploded.
Okay.
It landed with a victim.
Oh, you want me to drop a mother of all bombs?
Let me say this, sir. The reality is reality, right? Let's have a reality check. Whether it is opposition or not, are the issues raised by the protesters germane? If they are, there's nothing you can do about it.
They are germane. So, yeah.
You know, just at the ACN took part in the protest. Nobody said it was an ACN thing. It was a Nigerian thing.
Of course, we have agreed we don't need a PDP, APC, Labour Party,
APGA, SDP solution.
The solutions, the paradox of Nigeria is the problem is there, the answer is also here.
Most certainly.
So it's not, we are not importing any answers from anywhere.
We are not.
Okay, so we are in agreement because we must go.
Yes.
The coming days, very interesting for us.
Yes.
And I hope we can come back here and applaud both sides.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, I hope that the protesters will go out, conduct themselves, and our government will meet them in the middle of the road and let them have a resolution.
Except that the youth tend not to be, tend not to have restraint.
It is the reason the president should prevent the protest from going on by meeting these needs now, or when they begin, as father figure, deal with the issue as a father would. If you use brute force, how many youth are going to remain in the country? My 2 pence on the matter anyway.
Okay, thank you for your time, Cyril Abako.
My pleasure.
All right, folks. I hear the debate about what's going to happen or not happen is not winnable. But whatever it is, you have your side of the bargain to cling to. Good luck. I'm out of here until the next time. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.